important, but I'm not certain it relates to a scholarship.
Okay. Well, let me change my hypothetical a little bit, but does anybody else want to?
You go ahead. I'm curious to know.
Let's say, while the scholarship's still there, let's set that aside, and let's say now that it is more, we want to have someone who can be a spokesperson for a particular issue, and bring attention, highlight a particular issue as they travel around the country, and that maybe someone is more likely to listen to this person because of an achievement they have, such as winning a nationwide pageant. What would be an important aspect there? Do you think any of the parts of the competition would be unnecessary if that was the primary goal? Is my question confusing?
For them to be a prominent
Spokesperson to draw attention to a particular issue.
Well, when it comes to like particular issues, that's obviously like a matter of like intelligence and stuff. And when it comes to pageants and stuff, I once again say that the interview is where intelligence shines. It's like when Andrew was talking about when she mentioned like mathematics and chemistry and stuff. That's where it helped with the interview portion. I think that holds true here in regard to intellect. I believe the interview portion would be the significant thing when it comes to what you just mentioned there.
Deciding a spokesperson based upon a public event like that, sort of like a competition that everybody can watch, it would usually be something that was, even if it was performance-based, it would be more of an audition. Is there a specific reason you would think it would be in the form of a beauty pageant?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Sometimes the winners, then they select a platform and they spend their year of reign raising awareness for a particular issue. So they have to be well versed in the issue, but they also have to have skills that relate to other aspects of the competition or of the pageant to help them to be able to effectively promote their cause during their reign. And so I was just trying to get you to see whether any parts of the pageant you thought helped with that, or you thought were unnecessary for that.
Probably the swimsuit portion would be unnecessary. But the rest for a spokesperson, yeah, I feel that would be an effective test of those skills.
Do you think that it is appropriate to, do you think that beauty pageants are objectifying women?
That's the bomb right there, isn't it? Do you want to go first?
I mean, not really per se. Like, I mean, I think that if you're an adult and you're confident in yourself and you want to go do that sort of thing, I don't think anyone should be stopping you from doing that sort of thing. You know, they make the choice to do that, and I don't think it objectifies women. I mean, in simple terms, I would say that it is what it is. It's just like, it's like what I was saying one time when we were researching this, like, it came up like, are they establishing a standard for women or something? And I was saying, I don't really think that's the source of the problem with that. I think it's a reflection of just what's already established. Like I heard the quote one time that, you know, music does not determine the way a generation goes. It's a reflection of that generation. And I think that same thing applies here. It's just a reflection of what's already there.
It has potential to, but that potential relies entirely upon the collective society that is taking in that material and creating things from that idea. As he said, it's a reflection.
So if it's a reflection, what is creating the image or the objectification?
Society.
What about society?
I think it really just stems from the fact that there are attractive qualities, just like as a baseline, there are attractive qualities, and that just comes through like in the pageants, like, you know, this is just, as James speaking, like it's what people like to see, so then pageants come up and those are the sort of people competing, and I don't think it really objectifies them, it's just saying, like, you know, we're confident in ourselves here and we just want to go and show that we are confident in ourselves. I don't think it really objectifies them. I mean, granted, you know, it's no secret there's a lot less of these with men, though, of course. But I don't think men really have that same sort of desire, really. So, yeah, that's my take.
Desire for what?
Like, I don't really think it's really common for men to really like, well, besides like with the muscles thing, because we talked, like that's a common thing. Like outside of the whole muscles thing, it's just like that's their thing, and you don't really see them talking about objectifying it. So I don't really think it is. It's just that people are confident in what they have, and they go and do that.
In your research, have you found any statistics or anything that would lead you to be able to give an opinion on how the popularity of beauty pageants today versus, say, 10 or 20 years ago?
It seems to be declining. Again, picked up right after World War II, but recently it was taken off of television. One contest was, I know, I believe it was Miss America was televised up until 2009, I believe. Now it's live streamed on the internet, but the television station apparently wasn't getting enough views for that, whether or not it was just because the internet's a better mode of communicating that, or if it was because there's less interest.
Can you speak to why there's been a decline in interest? Do you want to speculate?
I mean, my instantaneous thought to that is that I'm part of the group of people that is losing it. I was not interested enough to really seek it out up until I had to do a panel discussion. It's not something that is talked about a whole lot now, possibly because it's sort of an older form of entertainment. A contest in general is. You would go out and actually see a contest live, as opposed to TV and the internet and all sorts of entertainment are offering different avenues of fictional expression as opposed to a contest. Contests are still popular, but a televised contest seems to decline because people spend their time on those devices and whatnot, on other things that in part is what that decline.
In your research, what percentage of participants deal with eating disorders and such?
A report released by, this one, okay, in a study released in September of 2003, 131 female beauty pageant contestants from 43 states completed an anonymous study. 26% reported that they had been told or perceived they had an eating disorder. 48.5% reported wanting to be thinner, and 57% were trying to lose weight. It seems to be more prevalent amongst people who have competed, because that is in part something that is of value, is considered.
Did you find like when this started happening?
Not specifically when it started, but I imagine it coincided coincides with just a general cultural glorification of thinness and other such ideas.
Are there other health issues that stem from participants, as far as like psychological, adult-wise?
So one
Anxiety,
statistic I
stress.
found was that 6% of pageant people who participate in pageants have depression. Now, you look at the number 6% and you think either high or low. It's actually exactly on par to the percent of the national percentage of people with depression. So depression doesn't seem to pick up much. That was a study, I believe, in 2010. No, 2016. So that's relatively new. It doesn't seem, depression doesn't seem.
What do you guys know about the responsibilities of title holders, the things that they do and how they spend their year? And can you tell me of any instances of when title holders have not fulfilled these responsibilities?
I haven't looked at the
I
responsibilities.
don't believe I looked at those.
Well, let's flash forward 20 years, 30 years, and you have a teenage daughter who would like to participate in one of these contests. Would you have an opinion about that? Would you permit her to do so? I'm getting away from the child ones, though. Okay.
Okay.
We're not going to be discussing that. We're talking about late teens, early 20s.
I wouldn't have much of a problem with it.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, if she wanted to do it, clearly she's confident in herself and she's not afraid to go do it. I don't see. I said earlier, I was like, if they want to do this, why would you stop them? So yeah, I certainly wouldn't stop them.
Do you think there should be any restrictions about or requirements for those who are able to participate? Like, you need to sign a waiver, I'm doing this because I want to and not because somebody's making me, or,
I don't think those are really effective. It's like creating a Facebook account when you're 6 and saying you're over 13 or 18 or whatever it is. It's not really an effective thing. I would suggest like maybe putting like an age cap on it, or not cap, so that maybe like 13 or so, like just so they can like really formulate for themselves, like intellectually, so they can make their own decisions without being heavily influenced.
Yeah, I think an age minimum, perhaps some kind of mental illness sort of test. If you already are struggling with confidence issues and anxiety and going into that, it doesn't seem to be the most safe environment to deal with those. They can probably worsen to an extent. But yeah, the age limit is definitely a big one, because when it gets down to a certain age, and it's not the kids who want to be competing, it's the parents who want their kids to compete, which is a prevalent problem in childhood pageants.
Do you think beauty pageants are harmful in any way?
Well, clearly they can be, according to the statistics he read out there. I think people who enter should be careful. They need to, it needs to not be forced, and they need to know, this is what I want to do. So I think only people confident in themselves and secure about themselves should really be going into these things.
Who should be judging them?
I would assume people that or former people inside of it themselves.
So former contestants should be
Yeah.
the judges?
Which I feel, I believe most of them are.
So the Miss America organization stipulates that you can't be older than 24 years old. You can never have been pregnant, never have been married, and never been charged or never been convicted of a felony. Do you think that all of these are, why do you think that they put those types of stipulations in place, and are there any that you would throw out?
I definitely understand the felony one. And, you know, I suspect there are girls that look up to these people, so I certainly wouldn't want someone who happened to be people in the dome to be up there. What were the other ones you said?
Could never have been pregnant and never been married, and the age cutoff is 24.
I don't think, I wouldn't say there should be, like, do they have something, I'm not sure if they have something for, I think they do.
They probably do. I feel like the age cutoff is more of a demographic thing. They want people from a certain age.
I'd say, like, if they have stuff for, like, people over that, then I would say, that's fine, then I suppose, yeah.
The pregnancy one's a little weird, a little specific. I feel like that might be a demographic thing too. They assume somebody who's 24 and has a child is probably going to be a Mrs. contestant, but I don't know. So that one's probably the most irrelevant sounding one, but I'm sure there's a good reason.
Can we go back to the bees for just a second?
All right. Oh yeah.
Um,
I'm ready for that one.
Do you think that you wanted to talk about bees and chose this instead? Why this? And do you think that beauty contests are a bigger issue than bees, or bees are the bigger issue? Africanized honeybees.
That last bit's tough. I know that I agreed to this because I needed something that was not personal to me. I don't like to speak on anything that I attach a lot of emotion to, I suppose. Have a lot of preconceived ideas of, and I like to very much stay neutral. I felt the bees would have been fun to do because yes, I like bees. I'm not overly emotional about bees. I do have preconceived notions about what to do with the Africanized honeybee problem, but they're relatively simple. It's not something that I would have to explain too thoroughly, be too angry at or whatever. And as for which one is a bigger issue, people are dying because of Africanized bees. There are people that are there are honeybees that are dying. The honey industry is going under because there are Africanized honeybees in Texas. This is more relevant of a problem, more people care about it. So I would have to decide with beauty pageants.
Okay, I know we're running short on time, but I'm just going to pick on something you just said. You said, this is more relevant, this is more of a problem. What's the problem with beauty pageants?
Saying the phrase, this is more of a problem, is just something that people say a lot.
Okay.
That was just a phrase.
Okay.
That I'm not.
Why is it that you don't like to speak on something that you're passionate about?
You're grilling me.
That's just odd
I
to
don't
me.
like to be out there. You know, I
That's
like
okay.
to be here. There is a preconceived idea of Andrew that I am. Other places have other Andrews.